Shop smart, shop S-Mart.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the new book, Oodles. I am your host, DeathMetalHero, and with me is a returning friend of the channel, Mr. Skunk Artworks. How's it going, man? Good to see you.
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I got my beverage here. For once, it's not black coffee. I'm actually drinking some water. You know,
Really?
I know everybody that knows me is shocked right now because all I drink is coffee. How come not coffee? Because I've been drinking coffee since like 2 this morning, and I figured, you know, I've reached my 3-pot maximum. I usually drink about like 3 pots of coffee a day. So yeah, I'm trying to switch it up a little bit. You know, I had to drive my mom to the airport early this morning. And so I figured I'd ease off on the coffee today. So, oh yeah, see, my girlfriend is shocked. That's the look of shock on her face that I'm actually drinking coffee, or I mean actually drinking water instead of coffee.
Probably a good idea.
Probably a good idea. The StreamYards was doing a little bit of hiccuping right before I brought us both in. I wasn't sure if the internet was going to cooperate.
Yeah.
Sometimes it likes to mess with me.
Yeah. Earlier I was on Elliot Rodriguez stream, and my camera wasn't working. I'm pretty glad it's working now. I had to use my cell phone on his show, and now it's working again. Gladly.
Technology, man. You know, it sometimes it just works when it wants to, right?
That's right.
You know, that's one of the benefits of working traditionally, huh? You don't have to worry about the technology fucking up on you. You know.
I mean, that brings a whole lot of other problems with it, but you know.
Yeah, it's true.
You're not dependent on technology. That's for sure a good thing. Yeah.
I'm working on Mercenary Guild. And I'm drawing it all digitally because that's what the publisher is used to. They're used to, you know, being able to make changes and stuff like that.
Wait a second. Last time I was here with Odin, you said you were going to do it traditionally, right?
I wanted to. I wanted to do it traditionally, but the publisher insisted on doing it digitally because they're used to working with artists that they can, you know, make changes right up until the last minute. So yeah, what I honestly wanted to do is I wanted to pencil digitally and then print it out and ink it traditionally. That way we had pages. But they just wanted to go pure digital, just in case they wanted edits. Shattermare Comics out of Jacksonville, Florida. They're a small little indie publisher, and I've been going to conventions with them and you know, hitting the convention circuit doing that. So it's been a lot of fun. You know, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and I've learned a lot.
Twitter, man. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoy doing conventions, man. I really do. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys do you get conventions over in your area of the world?
Yeah, for sure. We got conventions in Germany, but certainly not as many as in the States. Like It's certainly a much smaller scene, the whole comic scene, than it is in the States.
Yeah.
It's probably different. It's probably different in other European countries, like, you know, France, for instance, where they got this huge bande dessinée scene and all that. You know, they probably got a lot more conventions going, but Germany not really. Some.
Maybe it'll build over time.
Yeah.
You know, I've always wanted to go to different countries and like see like what kind of comic shops are there. Are there comic shops over there too?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Our comic shops are. I don't think they're very different from American comic shops. Maybe the only difference is that we probably got more European stuff. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
The entire catalog of French and Belgian comics is available in Germany in German language, and we all grow up with
That's
these
fantastic.
kind of books. You know, this is what we read as kids. It's basically Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the French, you know.
Man, that's amazing. Some of those books are just absolutely gorgeous.
They are. Yeah,
like
really
the artwork is stunning. And you know, sometimes we get lucky and we get the English translations over here, you know, the American translations, and we get to read them. But there's a lot of stuff that I would love to read, but it's, you know, it's not in my language.
Yeah, that's the cool thing in Europe. They translated basically into every European language there is.
That's fantastic.
Well, another thing that's pretty cool is whenever I want to buy an American book that has very good artwork, I always try to look for a European version, because oftentimes they sell the American books in the large album format that they have in Europe.
Oh, awesome.
So when I buy, for instance, a couple of weeks ago, I bought the Simon Bisley Lobo book. And it's this huge in Europe, you know.
Oh wow!
Very cool,
man.
Look at the art, you know.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah,
I suggest you buy the European versions of it.
I'm gonna have to look into that next time I want to buy like a trade or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw Adam Lawson's book, Exiled. That kind of came in an oversized, you know, kind of album version, and I love it, man. I actually really enjoy having like a larger book to look at. You can appreciate the artwork, you know?
And that was a very high quality book overall, you know?
Yeah.
It had this little, what do you call it? The thing that you can put in the pages.
Oh, the ribbon. Yeah. The ribbon, the bookmark ribbon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was cool.
Yeah. It's a very prestige format, you know, book. Very much enjoyed that book. I've been doing my What's in the Box books, or What's in the Box shows, and I've been opening up like a bunch of stuff that I've had for a while. And I did a What's in the Box with Adam, and I opened Jawbone Death, Kill Journal, Finch Dossier, and The Exiled. And you know, I've been really enjoying all the stuff that I've been getting. You know, been trying to, you know, make sure I sit down and read through all the stuff that I've been backing. Currently,
it's not that easy, right? I mean, I have a stack of stuff lying around, and I just can't get around to reading all this stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you've got family, you've got work, and then you've got, you know, artwork to do. I mean, making artwork takes time. So, you know, sometimes you don't have the time to sit down and read as much as you would like.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it, man. I totally get it. Let's go ahead and say hi to the chat.
Yeah.
Woodrow says, "Yo, what's up? What's up, Woodrow? Good to see you, sir."
Hello.
And there's my beautiful lady. Scald, gorgeous. She says, "Hello, Skunk."
Hi.
And then there's her being amazed and shocked that I'm reading water or drinking water. And so please hit that like button. Yes, indeed. Hey, what's up, K-pop? She says, "Yo, welcome. Thank you for being here." Feline already dropping the link for the splash in the chat. Go ahead and hit that link and check out the campaign page. Check out the absolutely gorgeous artwork in this book. You know, doing wonderful stuff for the kids, man. Like I would have just absolutely flipped my lid as a kid to have a book done in this style. You know, because I've always loved artwork as a kid, and you know, I believe that kids deserve to have good media. I believe they deserve to have good stories told to them.
Yeah,
you know,
that
if
was the idea, man.
Yeah, that's fantastic, dude. Carbon dioxide, yo, what's going on, man? How's it going? Let's see. Did you see Robert Englund's stuff from Motor City? I did not. That's cool. I am tempted to do the Imagine Theater thing. Cool. I'm not sure what that is, but all right. Yeah, Robert's hosting screenings. Oh, hosting screenings at. Okay, gotcha. You know what? I actually saw a George Romero screening of Night of the Living Dead. It was at a small theater up in Jacksonville, and it came with like a little like a poster and whatnot, but you actually got to sit with like George Romero was in the theater and he was sitting up front. You could see him, you could see the movie, and he was talking about like the making of the film, and talking about like what they had to do in order to get these shots and all that stuff. It was really cool. So if that's what Robert Englund's doing, that would be something to definitely check out. Bruce Campbell usually does the watch-alongs here at HorrorCons. Nice. That's awesome. See, that's another thing that I love about conventions, man. You get an opportunity to, rub shoulders with, some of these celebrities, some of these actors, people that have made stuff that you've loved for a long time. But I mean, being able to meet like the writers and the artists that make the books that you really enjoy, that to me is the best part about going to a convention.
Or potentially the biggest letdown of all.
Yeah, I mean, they do say don't meet your heroes, but, sometimes you got to separate art from the artist,
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Being on this side of the table now, being at a convention and selling my own work, it's really cool to meet fans as well. Getting to talk to people. I'm sure you remember me telling you I used to work at my local comic shop. And one of my favorite things was being able to just, nerd out with my customers, talk about like the stuff that they're reading, stuff that really, gets them excited. And I get to do that at conventions too, So that's fun. Speaking of reading, is there anything that you're reading right now that you really enjoy? Anything that you just got that you're looking forward to reading? Because I know that we both have stacks of books.
Yeah, what I'm reading right now, I'm not quite sure I enjoy it, is the Harley Quinn book from Sean Gordon Murphy. The Batman White Knight series.
Yeah.
I just started reading this, so I don't know yet.
Right.
The last thing I read was the last installment of Lost Pages, which was awesome.
Yeah, Phil's doing good stuff with that, man.
Yeah, this is really one of my favorite indie books. The entire Lost Pages thing is really
yeah.
That was the last thing I read, and I don't know. Before that, what did I read? I'm not sure. Shit, I think it was Foreign Agent by Narwhal. That was
cool. Okay.
That was
great. Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, I have like a huge stack of Narwhal books, and I still have to finish them all. But that was a very good book.
Excellent. All right, I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, that was special.
Very cool. I like I said, I just read Jawbone Death, the Kill Journal Finch dossier. I've got the Lucent. That I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and read yet, and then read the Exiled, Art T. Bear's Black and White Volume 2, Cordrath, or not Cordrath. That's what I'm opening tonight at 8 with Andy Smith and Dennis Turner. But Kozor by the Barton Brothers. I got that. I got that forever ago, and it took forever for me to set up a show and get the Barton Brothers on and open it. But I really enjoyed Kozor.
The artwork is awesome on Kozar.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It very much reminded me of like Berserk meets like Dark Souls and just Elder Gods, messing with people's minds. It's a fucking trippy book. I like it.
It is similar to Berserker in that it is very guts and gore, nasty type book. It's like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the rest of that series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Okay. Job on Death was actually awesome as well.
It was. Yeah, they're currently working on 2. Yeah, I love the art style that Krager did with that book. It fit the story perfectly. Just very, very kinetic, and there was a lot of fun and bounce to the lines, but very, dark and serious at the same time. It felt like an indie comic book. There's something about Black and White that I really love when it comes to indie books. I feel like I feel like it just kind of fits, you know, because you had the Ninja Turtles back in the day. That was, you know, black and white. The Crow, black and white. I mean, it works for. I mean, it works for indie comics, in my opinion. I mean. Most of them did it just because, you know, color is expensive, but you know, it creates a whole like a whole vibe, a whole mood. You know, I mean, obviously you work with color, so you know about how color can affect mood. So you know, I don't know, something about black and white. Yeah. So let's actually talk about your. Oh, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, obviously, from time to time when I do covers or whatever, I use color, but for the most part, I use black and white because it's just by its very nature very dramatic.
Yes,
it has stark contrast, and it's much more. Everything looks more dramatic in black and white.
I agree.
It's also quicker, you know.
Yes.
That's not to be taken lightly, you know. I like things to be quick, you know. If a painting for me it takes too long, I kind of lose interest at some point, and then I can understand that to finish it, you know.
Yeah.
So time efficiency is definitely an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. You know, sometimes you're working on a piece and it just drags and it drags, and you know you need to finish it, but it's just not quite done yet. Yeah. Yep. What's up, Ms. Good Stuff? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome. K-Pop says black and white fits so well for horror and the grit. That is correct. That is true.
I don't know. Never read it. Oh, you mean the
just like horror in general? Okay. Yeah, like horror comics.
The book you mentioned earlier.
Okay. Yeah. Job Mode Death is kind of like a, you know, kind of a, I guess I would call that kind of like a grindhouse horror flick, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good description, yeah.
Let's see. Mrs. Good Stuff says Oreos, black and white, delicious. Yes, indeed. Love them 80s, 90s, black and white, especially Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Yes, indeed, man. Good old Johnny. Let's see. All right, and Boneyard Press stuff. Yeah, man. There were a lot of great indie publishers back in like the 80s and 90s. There was a boom for that stuff. You know, I love it. So let's talk about your artwork, man. What inspires you? Like, where does your style come from? Who are some of your favorite artists that you feel kind of inspired the way your work looks? Because you've got such a dramatic, you know, painterly style that you know, has that perfect mix of realism and fantasy. You know, when you do stuff, I love it, man. I love your work.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Actually, I really like the description you just gave, because that's really what I'm trying to do to a certain degree. You know, a certain degree of realism, and then I try to push a certain level of abstraction in there. You know, and I like the contrast between abstraction and realism.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Some of the artists that really inspired me were primarily the British painted comic types. You know, the people like Simon Bisley and Dermot Power and Simon Davis. These guys, the 2000 AD people.
Yeah, man.
They've been a very heavy influence. And then there are also the American Golden Age illustrators that I like a lot. Like Leyendecker and
Leyendecker is amazing.
Dean Cornwell especially.
Yeah.
So it's the more painterly stuff that I'm very much inspired by. And then it's also some illustrators from today, people like Bud Cook, for instance. Do you know Bud Cook?
That name sounds familiar. What has he worked on?
Nothing comic related. He's just some random illustrator that I found on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And he's just stunning, man. You should really check him out. He's really, really good.
Budcook, Bud Cook.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look him up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then there's Jeff Lafferty.
I love Jeff's work, man.
Yeah.
The Berserkernaut is such a fun book, and he's such a kind, genuine, awesome dude.
Yeah.
You know, I popped into a few of his live stream chats, and he's a very down to earth, cool dude. I love his work, man. He is super talented.
And his YouTube channel is just, if you're a traditional artist, this is just one of the most instructive and helpful channels that you can find on the internet. It's just absolutely amazing.
I agree.
This guy was a huge influence, man.
Yeah, he was actually very active in comics, like back in the late '80s, early '90s, if I remember correctly. You know, he was doing all kinds of stuff back then. You know, indie publishing, and did some stuff for Image, if I remember. And then kind of fell out of it, and then came back and started doing his own stuff. I mean, some of the animatronic stuff that he's working on, you know, the armatures and like the sculpting and stuff. It's very, very cool channel. I like that dude quite a bit. Yeah.
And also his weird stop motion
yeah.
is absolutely awesome. I love it. So generally speaking, I love the stuff that is a bit more painterly. Or no, that's actually wrong. This is what inspires me to do what I do. This is not the only stuff I read, obviously.
Right.
There are, you know, artists like Mike Mignola who do something that is pretty much the opposite of what I do, and he's one of my favorite artists of all time. Yeah.
Man, nobody has composition quite like Mignola. He knows how to lay out a page and have that dramatic punch, unlike, you know, anybody else. You know, he's got his own unique storytelling style.
Yes, because one thing that he often does that I totally love about Mignola is he makes these weird pauses where somehow there's a panel of a statue or some shit like that, and it's just there's no reason content-wise why this panel should be there, but it kind of works, you know.
Yeah.
He has these weird panels that just pause the actions.
Yeah, kind of like just a little story beat, just like a, you know, like when you're acting or doing like a script or something like that, you take a beat in between something. That's kind of what he's doing. He's inserting like a beat to kind of slow things down. And you know, that's somebody that understands the storytelling mechanics of a comic book. You know, he understands how to make this work and how to control the readers, you know, the speed at which they're reading. You know, and that I love that stuff too, man. K-Pop says the Biz just launched a book today on Kickstarter. That's awesome. Gonna have to look that up. Hell yeah, man! Love the Biz. I got to meet Bisley at Heroes Con. Actually, he signed my last Zarnian trade paperback that I've had since high school, and he also signed my Body Count, the hardcover that I have of Casey Jones and Raphael. Such a fun book.
Yeah, I have a pretty vivid memory of my first Bisley book, which was some kind of trade of Judge Dredd stories. And
nice,
I was a little kid at the time, and I remember that
perfect time to start reading Judge Dredd.
I remember that my parents wanted to take the book away from me because they felt that there was this story in there where he. I think he was going to arrest some kind of Santa Claus impersonator. And it turns out that this impersonator had a stripper hidden in his ass. And she comes out of his ass and gets arrested or some shit like that. It was like,
oh my God. Yep. I mean, that sounds like a story Bisley would work on. Yeah. And he's got the perfect art style to do it, too. That's fucking great. What up, Brian Chriskow? Good to see you, sir. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us, man. Biz is going to be at Motor City. And yes, Feline did get some great pictures of me meeting the Biz. It was a lot of fun talking to him. We were talking about music. Apparently, he's playing bass right now, and looking to put together a band. At least that's what he was saying. But So, what we're here to talk about today is this awesome children's book that you've got going on called The Splash. Why don't you tell us what the inspiration for this story was and how what made you decide to put this book together the way you did?
Yeah, well, what happened basically is I was at the local flea market, and I bought a collection of fairy tales and folk tales from all countries all over the world, like 8 books or something like that, some kind of collection, you know?
Yeah.
And I did that because at the time I was rereading Hellboy. And
Yeah.
Hellboy is obviously very much inspired by fairy tales, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's probably a good idea to read lots of fairy tales to get some inspiration for doing a comic book. So that was the idea. So I flipped through all these books and read some of the stories, and I came across this Tibetan story that The Splash is based on.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is a short story. You certainly can't make that into a comic, but this would make an awesome book for my 2 kids. You know, I got two small kids, and I was like, yeah, I could just make a book for them, you know.
Absolutely.
I felt like that was a cool idea. They're gonna love it, and they're gonna show everybody and say, look, this is what my daddy made for us, and you know, they're gonna be proud. And I mean,
that's a fantastic reason to make a book, man. Something to give to your kids. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was I think it was a very good story because it was a story about fear and about not letting fear take control and not going into mass panic mode, and about courage and bravery. And you know, I thought that this would just make a great story. So I started outlining the text, and I just started painting and drawing. And at some point I realized, well, this is probably going to look pretty damn good. I think we might.
I love this.
We shouldn't. Oh yeah, this is kind of my
man. I'm a Leo, so I have a thing for lions. I love lions, and this is just this. I mean, this would be a badass tattoo. You know, straight up.
My personal Sienkiewicz moment. You know.
Yeah, dude, I can totally see that. So good. Yeah, the artwork on this book is just incredible, man. Kitty, she says. Yes, indeed. Big, loud, rumbly kitty. But the making a book for your kids, man, that is, in my opinion, that's probably like one of the best reasons to make a book. You know, to leave something for your kids, one, to make something for them, but also, you know, storytelling is the oldest profession in the world. It's how we kept track of our history, you know, through oral tradition. Fairy tales were passed down for generations to impart wisdom to the kids. You know, a lot of them were, you know, stay out of the forest because shit out there is going to eat you, you know, stay close to home, you know, keep them safe.
Message.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. But you know, it also like you're doing with this book, you're imparting wisdom. You know, think for yourself. You know, think for yourself and question authority. Always been one of my favorite statements.
Yeah,
it's an axiom, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just thought this was a good idea to do for my kids, but then I thought, well, maybe this should be made available to other people's kids as well, you know, because it turned out to be pretty good, and I thought we might publish this.
I think it's a fantastic idea, man. And again, like I was saying earlier, you know, I believe kids deserve to have good quality media that you know actually gives them, you know, good moral lessons, you know, good ways to think, not telling them how to think, but, you know, teaching them, you know, not telling them what to think, but teaching them how to think, you know, giving them a good basis. I think that's fantastic, man. And artwork like this is going to, at least I know for me, when I was a kid, artwork like this sticks out. It's the kind of stuff that sticks in their head. You know, they're going to remember for years.
Yeah, this is actually what I was thinking. You know, when
Ray?
Oh, hi, Ray. When I talked to Elliot earlier today, he asked me, well, I don't know, kids books, most of the time they are in very bright colors and they are very colorful and very playful. This is grimy stuff in black and white, you know?
Yeah.
And I think as a kid I would have loved this. I showed this to my
Yeah.
kids and they love it. I don't know if this is a boys or girls thing, maybe, I don't know, but my kids, both of them are boys, they loved it. You know?
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
think a lot of books that I read as a kid in the 80s, for instance, dinosaur books, let's say.
Yeah.
They were brutal, man.
Oh yeah, they didn't pull any punches. Not at all.
They had these images of dinosaurs slashing each other's stomachs open and, you know, guts coming out and blood spurting everywhere. And it was like, yeah, they don't make
Nature's beautiful, but it's also brutal.
Yeah. Now, this book isn't brutal, but it has some intimidating images like this one. You know?
Yeah.
And I think kids can deal with this.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. The quote that you posted by C.S. Lewis, and I know I'm probably going to butcher the quote, but there's, you know, basically there's evil in the world, there's horrors in the world, might as well give them, you know, heroes to look up to, essentially. And I absolutely just destroyed that quote. It's not even remotely close, but, you know, I think I kind of got the gist of it out there. But I fully agree with that statement, you know, like don't try to hide, you know, the fact that there's, you know, that bad stuff happens in the world, but also, you know, let the kids know that, yeah, there's good in the world too. You know, there's hope. There are heroes out there.
Exactly. That's the idea.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah. So what happens in the story is this. It's about two rabbits who are sitting by a lake, and a fruit, a mango, I think, falls into the water, and it makes a big splash. And the rabbits get scared because they've never heard this sound before, and they just start running. And this kind of creates this cascading effect. The other animals see them running, and they start running as well, without even knowing what they are running from exactly. And at some point, all the animals in the forest are just running away in sheer panic without knowing what they're running from. And then they encounter the lion. So this is as much as I can say about the story without giving away what happens.
I think that's the perfect amount to set the hook. Like that's a great hook. And I have to say I love the look on the tiger here. I think it's amazing how you were able to get like the kind of panic look on the tiger's face here. You know, you're conveying that kind of panicked feel in, you know, arguably one of the most dangerous animals, you know, on the planet. You know, I think that's great, man. It's amazing.
Dude, this is to me, this was unbelievably difficult, you know, because like you said, I usually draw or paint in a semi-realistic style. So giving animals some kind of emotion without them not looking without them looking unrealistic was kind of hard, you know. So
I bet.
Realistic and at the same time emotional. That was hard, man, and I had to redraw thousands the images thousands of times, man. It was pain in the ass, but I think in this case it worked quite well. Yeah.
Oh man, this turned out great. I absolutely love this image. You know, it's incredible. Yo, what's up, Flip City? Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, Kitty.
Appreciate you being here. Feline dropping the link. There's the link to the splash. Go hit that link and you know, support this amazing book. Even if you don't have kids, you know, you can read this yourself. And also, you know, I know that you probably got friends that got kids. So, I mean, you know, you could make it an early Yule gift. Hell, you could give this to the kids for Halloween, for Samhain, if you really wanted to.
The cool thing is, the book is going to ship in November, so it's the perfect Christmas present. You know,
there you go.
If you got any kids in your family or in your circle of friends or whatever, this is the perfect Christmas present. It's going to be there for Christmas, and it is a special present because very few other people in the world are going to have this, you know.
Yeah. It's you know, going to be limited edition. You know, this isn't going to be super widespread. That's I mean, it's part of the beauty of doing indie crowdfunding like this. You know, you have the opportunity. So Yule, yes, it is a perfect Yule gift. Let's see. Yeah, and Flip City says, "So beautiful, Skunk." Absolutely.
And thank you very much.
Yeah. And just this is all paint, or is this some ink wash and paint as well? Like what? I know you're doing this all traditionally, which I think is fantastic. But what are you using, man?
Yeah, what I usually do is for the black and white stuff. I have a different process when it comes to full color work, but for the black and white stuff, what I usually do is I make some kind of preliminary sketch, usually digitally.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only thing that I do digitally because I can tweak it around, and you know I don't have to erase everything 1,000 times.
Yes.
And then I print
right there with you, buddy.
I print out my sketch and do a traditional pencil drawing based on that, and then I ink it, and then what I usually do is I apply ink spatter with a toothbrush to get the darkest shadows. And what I do next is I mix transparent acrylic medium with a little bit of black so that I get a transparent gray. And
oh, cool. Okay.
I roll that on with a brayer, and this creates these weird textures that these images have.
I love it.
And it also provides me with a gray mid-tone that I can work from. So at this point, I have my darkest darks, I have my mid-tones, and then I can apply white highlights with white acrylic paint.
I love it. I love it, man. That's so cool. You know, I sometimes when working on white paper, you know, you want to be able to do the highlights, and you know, you have to tone the page, or you know, you have to wait until like the very end, and you still have to tone the figure. So I love the process that you just explained. I mean, because I enjoy using. I've got some of the I saw you had one of the paint pens.
The Posca pens.
Yeah. And you know, I've also got the watercolor ones, like I've seen you use. I really enjoy these. I have black. Yeah, I have black and white. But I've been using the Dr. P.H. Martin's pen white, which works pretty well. You have to. It's a little thick. You got to thin it out if you're going to use it with one of those brushes. But I love this type of work. I enjoy doing ink wash. And some of the stuff that I did for Mercenary Guild, like the traditional stuff, the backgrounds are ink wash. I feel like there's a level of control that you can get with ink wash that you kind of. I mean, yeah, you can get it with digital, and you can get it with Copic markers, but there's something. I don't know. There's something different. Almost, I guess. The word I'm looking for is almost primal about doing ink wash and the way it kind of bleeds into the paper, and you know, the layering that you get. You know, I love it, man. I think this.
I forgot to mention this. I did use washes on a couple of these pages. You can see it in this one quite well. The background and some of the shading on the animals. That's all gray wash, and
love it.
I actually prefer that to Copic markers and all that stuff because
agreed.
The weird thing when you use ink wash or watercolor or whatever is that you kind of lose control to a certain degree because you lay down the wet paint and it kind of does what it wants to do, you know, and you just gotta sit back and let it do its little dance and see what happens, you know. And
I agree.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the feeling that this gets, you know, with the ink wash back here. I've not played around with watercolors in a long time, but I'm thinking I might try some of that as well. I really like working with the ink. You know, just like I've got a bunch of the different PH Martins, like the Bombay inks and stuff like that, and those are fun to play with. But
I just sorry.
Feline says thank you. I was wondering what you were using. She had that question as well.
Oh, okay.
Like what you were using.
Yeah. The thing is, oh wait a second. What's
Skunk has blown me away on 3 occasions with his art that he's done for me. So glad I backed this book. My son is gonna love it. Heck yeah, man.
My pleasure. What I was going to say is this. Actually, at this point, I think I prefer, when it comes to washes, I prefer watercolor to ink because it's less messy. You know, I can.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's. I found that it's, well, back in the days, I always used ink wash, but I found that when I use watercolor, it's easier to get it to the right consistency that you like, and to the right degree of transparency. And now most of the time when I want to use wash, I actually use black watercolor instead of ink. Okay,
all right. Then I'm gonna have to start playing around with some watercolors. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've even attempted, and I was not happy with the result the last time I did, so I just kind of put it away for a while.
Yeah, watercolor is the most difficult medium in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I've always heard.
Because it's so hard to control.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard. Flip City says, watching Skunk paint is mesmerizing. Love those shorts. Yeah, you guys, if you are not following Skunk on X, you really need to. He's got some great time-lapse videos. The link is in the description of this video, so you can go follow him and watch some of those time-lapse videos, because they are great, man. Always a treat to see one of those pop up in my feed. You know, always a nice little art treat to see, you know, in the feed.
You know why I like doing these little time-lapse videos? The cool thing is, they kind of show, it's a psychological thing. They kind of show what I like about painting. Because what always happens in these videos is you have this very, very dark gray drawing.
Yeah.
That is way darker than it should be. And then you start applying white paint, and suddenly, boom, it all comes to life, and it starts to come forward. And I just love this effect so much. And this is the most fun part in the entire process for me. Yeah.
I agree, man. It's awesome to see it kind of like it pops into life. You know, when you start getting those highlights in there, you know, it adds that contrast. What's up, Matt? Good to see you, sir. He says, I like ink wash in limited amounts because it can get out of control fast. I made one comic that was a muddy mess. Ha! Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah. When that happens for me, I just apply more white paint.
There you go. There you go. Secrets from a master here. You know, everybody be taking notes. K-pop says you can use the watercolors like regular paint. That's what I do, but I need to do the swirly woo-woo stuff sometimes. Well, there you go. Matt says watercolor is unforgiving, but I dig it.
It is.
Right. I'm gonna have to find some good watercolors and start playing around with them.
Yeah, but that's actually the reason why I use oil paints for my full color stuff, because it's the most forgiving medium of all.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, I suppose acrylics kind of will dry up on you real quick.
Yeah.
And oil paints, you can kind of work them and blend them a lot more.
Yeah, and
if you don't
like the result, you can just take a rag and just wipe them off and start again. It's just no problem.
I see. I've never played around with oil paints either. So I'm gonna have to try that too. Yeah. Thank you, Feline. She's dropping the link for Skunk's X account there. It's my partner in crime. Always got my back. Slinging them links. Let's see. Ray says, I've got paint by numbers, if that helps. Got to start somewhere, Ray. Got to start somewhere.
Actually, I think Ray said a smart thing there, because this is pretty much what I try to do. When I do a full color painting,
yeah,
what I do is I make a a tonal drawing that has all the darks and all the midtones and all the lights already there. So
Yeah.
when I start painting in oils, it is basically painting by numbers, because all the tonal stuff, all the values are already there on the canvas, and I just have to, go over them with oil paint.
That's a great idea. Making sure you got everything in place before you start putting the colors down. It's a fantastic idea. So, speaking of your artwork and process, in conjunction with this awesome children's book, you've got Dream Machine: The Paintings of Skunk Artworks. Tell us about this book. What's it says for the first time ever. What's going on with this, man? Is this a special art book going out with?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically an art book with about 50 paintings.
Oh wow, awesome!
And it's it was kind of a last minute addition to the campaign.
Right.
And I'm currently going to my printer, and I'm getting all this stuff scanned in a very, very high quality, so that you can really see every detail. You can see the texture of the paint. You can see the texture of the canvas. Those are going to be very, very cool looking images. And
that's cool. I love this one right here.
Alien. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Feline and I were showing the campaign off on the Happy Hour Hangout the other day, and she was commenting that she really likes this one as well. So yeah, that's cool, man.
The thing is, it's kind of weird that this is this is actually more expensive than the Splash, but it's
right.
It's just a bigger book,
Yeah. How many pages is the Splash?
The Splash is going to be, I think, 42 pages.
Okay. I mean,
something like this. 42, 44 or something. I don't know. Something like this. And half of these pages are text and the other half are paintings. Yeah.
The illustrated children's book. Awesome. And then if you want more artwork, go ahead and grab the Dream Machine so you can get
the Dream Machine
50
is going
pages.
to contain a lot of the stuff that I've previously posted on Twitter, and there's also going to be some, I think, some stuff that nobody's ever seen before, stuff from my personal sketchbooks, and
Heck yeah!
So yeah, that's going to be a very cool book as well.
I bet, man. That's going to make for a very, very awesome bundle with the book and the sketchbook. So for those of you out there that have kids or don't have kids, or know people that have kids, if you want to get the kiddies the children's book, then you can get yourself something as well. You can go ahead and get yourself the Dream Machine, and that way you've got a fantastic art book to have on your coffee table.
Yeah, and what I'm also seeing right now is another tier that you can back on this campaign is the 3 copies plus 1 for free tier. So if you got several kids in your family or whatever, who you want to make a present or something like that, you can just get 4 copies and 1 of them is free.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. See, Feline says we were checking it out on the Happy Hour Hangout. It looks fire. Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Twix link above. Miss Goodstuff says, I got both the Splash and Dream Machine and really excited for both of them. Gotta run, but good luck, Skunk. And she says, I'm keeping the children's book. Sorry, not sorry. Well, there you go.
And good luck with your cooking book.
Yes, the cookbook.
Looking forward to that.
Cookbook is going to be awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, and going to be a chance for people to get cutting boards made by this beautiful lady right here. Custom Eat Good Stuff bamboo cutting boards will be available on the campaign. They are laser engraved with the logo.
It's also going to be my introduction to American food, because I don't really know anything from America except for hamburgers, maybe. I have never eaten anything American other than hamburgers.
Well, I mean, we do a lot of hamburgers over here. Well, that's awesome, man. You'll find some good stuff in there, huh? Huh? Hang on, I got something for this. Where is it? There we go. You know, yeah, that book's going to be fun, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. You're going to enjoy it, and I think everybody will get an absolute kick out of this book as well, the Splash and the art book. So you've also got original paintings, except it looks like almost all of them are sold out, except for the last 3.
Yep, and they're cheap. They're $150.
Yeah,
which is not a lot, considering that they're very large. These things
yeah. How big are they?
They are in inch. They are 20 by 27.
Holy shit!
It's like, wait a second.
I was way off on the happy hour hangout the other day. I thought they were smaller than that. Holy cow!
Nice. They're pretty large.
Oh, that is beautiful.
I can't even show them. Yeah. So these are like heavy canvases and very large.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a deal. Then
$50. That's a good price.
20 by 27. And Feline says, "Speak for yourself about the burgers." Okay, fine. I eat a lot of burgers and steaks and eggs. Yeah, but I mean, I do keto, so. But yeah, 20 by 27. Those are huge, and for only $150. Holy crap, y'all! Jump on this. You know, especially since you get this amazing artwork, and it goes to help Skunk. Man, these are beautiful.
Yeah, I think when you use large canvases, it's just easier to paint because you can be you can lay down much more confident brush strokes. You know, when everything's very tiny and small, you kind of just fiddle around and just, I don't know. I don't like that. I like large canvases where I can go and
Well, it gives you more room to work, gives room for the artwork to breathe, and you can get more details in. When you're working tiny, you try to get some of that detail in, and then it kind of gets muddy because you don't have the room to work, and you can only get so close to the canvas before you can't you lose resolution.
Yeah, that's true.
These are beautiful, man. So this entire campaign is beautiful. Like the artwork for the book itself, and the art book. I mean, if you guys out there love like art in general, this is definitely the campaign for you. If you got kids that you want to give a good children's book to, with a good story to help them, grow up into strong, productive individuals, this is the campaign for you. If you yourself like good stories, this is the campaign for you.
And there's one thing that was very important to us, and that is this is actually supposed to be a book for everyone. This is a book that is not in some way political or ideological or whatever. This is something that we should all be able to agree on, and so
I agree.
That was and it's there are a lot of children's books these days where this is not the case. So yeah,
teaching kids to think, not what to think.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing. Critical thinking seems to be something that is kind of being pushed to the wayside these days. So I'm glad that you're making something to bring that back. That's the way it should be. Feline says, "Love that, absolutely." Me too. Because too many things are put out to divide people, and we need something we need stuff to bring people together. And
That's right.
People care about their kids. I think that's a pretty unifying thing.
Yeah.
And they want their kids to be smart, intelligent individuals that are able and capable of dealing with the world as it is. Being able to think.
Yeah, but that being said, even if you don't have kids, I think you should back the book. Because this is, even if you don't have kids, this is a cool art book that you can pull out from time to time and just look at, and flip through a little bit. So this is basically for everyone. This is not just for kids. This is also for adults who just like cool black and white art. So
this is truly an all ages book, because I know that the story isn't going to be talking down to kids, and that's another thing, another problem I have with a lot of children's material is that it talks down to them. And when I was a kid, I was reading like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Chronicles of Narnia. Chronicles of Narnia is still one of my favorite book series to this day.
Yes.
I've read all 7 of those books over and over and over again, and those books never once talked down to their audience, even though they were quote unquote children's books. Yeah. And
they took them serious.
They did, yeah, and I believe that's the way children's material should be. They should be treated seriously. They should be given quality material so that they know what quality stories are. Because there's going to be a plethora of bad stories and stuff as they get older, and they're going to encounter those, poorly written stuff. But knowing what quality material is when they're young, I think that sets a good precedent for the rest of their life.
100% agree. That's the truth, man.
Absolutely. Well, we've been going for about an hour here, and I know it's getting late over there for you, and you got to work tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and wind down here. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the Splash or the art book or anything like that before we wrap this one up?
I said most of what I had to say. I can just implore people to give this book a chance. It's a project that I put my heart and soul into. And I think this is going to do something good for your kids if you decide to read it to them. And I think it's going to shape. It's probably going to shape their let's say their artistic. I don't know, their artistic tastes, just like the children's books that I had as a kid shaped mine. So give it a try.
Read to your kids. It's good for them. Not only will it give you guys something to bond over, but it will set a precedent throughout their life, and it will make them love stories. I know it did for me. My parents read to me when I was a kid, and this will absolutely stick in their mind and give them something good to fall back on as they get older. I agree, Feline. This looks amazing. Skunk, thank you so much for coming to hang out, man. This is an absolute blast. Oh, absolutely. Anytime you got something that the new project, a new book, anything like that, you're more than welcome to come hang out, man. We'll talk about it, and we'll share it with the people. Chat, you guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here, and remember,
Shop smart, shop S-Mart.